Okay, so I hope you're enjoying shadow stroke. A very important stroke. Make sure you do them. The next stroke is called snap stroke. Now I want you to notice in this stroke development sequence how we just keep building on the previous areas of control. We learn how to do something slow, then we do it in a little more difficult environment, The whole time we're reinforcing your grip, your hand position, and your ability to control two key factors. Stick path, straight up and down, and stick height, the same height every single time. Very important. So concentrate on that and keep working on those two areas of control. Stick path and stick height. Memorize that. You got to know how to do those two things. The next stroke is the same as shadow stroke, except for we're going to move quickly instead of slowly. Now, you've got to have more control over stick path. You've got to have more control over stick height to be able to do this. So practicing shadow stroke before going on is very important. Here's what snap stroke looks like. Instead of moving in 3 counts, we're going to move in 1 count. Looks like this. 1, 2, ready, go, up. 1, 2, ready, go, down. No big deal. It's just instead of moving up slow and having all kinds of time to think about, okay, here's where I'm going to stop, you've got to be able to move your stick from rest position, boom, right up to accent height position. This challenges your stick height control a little bit and helps your muscles memorize that motion in a little bit faster speed. So let's do it together. Snap stroke. I'm going to pull out my metronome. We're going to do it in 4/4 time. We're going to move every 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Nice and smooth. Up, it's not, you're not snapping or jerking, it's just nice and smooth. Down, it just happens in 1 count. Up, down. Nice and relaxed. Up, keep your fingers on the stick. Up, down. Okay, now you can practice that on your own. Turn on your metronome. You could even go at a slower tempo in the beginning if you want to. But the most important things to remember here is keep everything as it was before and make sure your stick is going straight up and make sure it stops at the same height every single time. This is all about stick path and stick height control, which will serve you so well later in your drumming. Let's do the left hand. Just to get a feel for it, I'm going to slow this down a little bit. So we can take our time. 1, 2, ready, go. Up, down. Up. This pause allows your muscles to memorize that position, and it's very important that you stop there. Up, down. It's as though your muscles are thinking, okay, cool, I got it. Accent height. Up, down. My hand's very relaxed. All the skin's on the stick, but I'm not squeezing it. It's just relaxed. Great drumming is relaxed and smooth. No tension. And down. Okay, let's stop there. Now again, just like shadow stroke, if you would just do that over and over and over again, taking your time, going slowly, give your muscles a chance to learn and be programmed in the proper movements required to drum well. Now, there are 2 variations to the snap stroke. That was the first one. The second one is the same thing, but, believe it or not, we're going to hit the pad. On the way down, instead of just going back to rest position, we're going to hit the drum like this. So if I start in accent height, the second half of snap stroke, hitting the drum is straight down. Now I want you to notice that when I hit the drum, I'm holding onto the stick here, it's very relaxed, and I do what's called cushioning the stick or, removing the rebound. The stick would fly up if I let it, but I'm going to keep my hand on the stick. My hand stops, so the stick stops. The fact that my hand is very relaxed gives all the padding in my hand a chance to cushion and absorb all the shock that would occur. So watch that again. It goes up and down. If I do it in slow motion, the stick comes down, hits the drum, and then wants to rebound, and I allow it to rebound back to rest position again because that's where my hand stopped. The stick's connected to my hand. The stick does what my hand does. It goes up, down. Now you got to bring the stick down with some velocity so you get a nice quality stroke. So don't be afraid to use the muscles in your hand and your forearm to get, some accent, but stop it low. The most common mistakes in doing that is to flip the stick and let it fly back up. If you keep your hand on the stick and stop it here, the stick will stop too. Watch it again. Up. Now, before we do some of those together, I want to point out that ability to bring a high stroke down into the drum, get a really quality sounding stroke, and then stop it low is very, very important because that's the motion that's required when you play accent patterns. I play an accent, it comes in, I have to stop the stick low and then play low notes. And we'll practice those motions in great detail, but I just want to point that out so you can realize how valuable this simple stroke is in giving you control over the stick. And this is an element of control that so many drummers never figure out. So you'll be way ahead of the game by doing this correctly now. Let's go to the right hand. Let's do let's do snap stroke hitting the drum. We're going to go in 4/4 time again. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Up, down. Up, nice and relaxed. Down. The stick moves quickly, but it doesn't jerk or snap. It's not all tense, it's relaxed. Bring it down with some velocity and some force so you can get a good accent. But don't slam it into the head. I wouldn't want this. Smooth. Up, down. Up. Let your muscles memorize that height. Stop it low. Keep these back fingers on the stick. Don't flip. Don't let them come off. This is all wrist. Smooth, relaxed wrist motions. One more. Okay, let's do a few on the left hand. Join me. Check out your grip, hand position, everything. Make sure you got that angle. We just keep building more and more. Ready, go. Up, down. Up, down. Up, down. Okay, let's stop there. Now, that is snap stroke. Remember, there's two versions. There's moving quickly in one count where you don't hit the drum, and then in one count where you do hit the drum. That second step where you hit the drum is so important to help you develop the skill to stop the stick low after an accent. Now, there's a handful of mistakes and misconceptions that come at this point. Sometimes people will think, well, that's too stiff to hold on to the sticks. Well, not unless you're stiff. You don't have to be stiff. You can relax. You can have very fluid hands. There is so much in drumming and in other areas of percussion as well where there's many times when what you're hitting doesn't really have much rebound in it. And you've got to lift the stick. You can't lift the stick unless you grab onto the stick. There's times in drumming where you've got to bring the stick in and you've got to the head and you've got to stop it low. You can't stop it low unless you know how to hold on to it and control it. So this is just the most basic fundamental skill that you know how to connect the stick to your hand. Later we'll be letting go. We'll be bouncing. We'll be letting the stick fly. And that's correct when you do it correctly at the right moment. But in the beginning, you've got to develop your wrist, the correct wrist motion, and your ability to keep your hand on the stick. So go through these carefully and work each individual hand and memorize stick path, stick height, good hinge wrist motion, good hand position, everything exactly the way it needs to be. But be very, very relaxed. Don't be stiff or tense about it.